improper management of public resources compromises the government's ability to deliver an array of services, including health, educational, and welfare services, essential for the realization of these rights. It is the poorest and most vulnerable groups and individuals who suffer disproportionately from the consequences of corruption because they are particularly dependent on these public goods and services. Corruption in the rule of law system compromises the right to equality before the law and the right to a fair trial. It undermines disadvantaged groups' access to justice. In this way, corruption weakens the very accountability structures responsible for protecting legal and human rights in a country. The impressive and extensive lineup of speakers and the variety of topics to be explored around the issues of fraud and corruption at this conference point to a clear understanding by the OCG of the depth and breadth of the challenges posed by corruption globally. In fact, a global recognition of the far-reaching impact of corruption is very likely what has led to the almost universal adoption of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, by state parties. The UNCAC, which entered in force in 2005, is the first global agreement on measures against corruption, which legally binds state parties on an equal footing to implement the convention. This convention is a global standard for fighting corruption and mitigating the risk of corruption. It has a comprehensive collection of measures and approaches to prevent and combat corruption. And I'm pleased to say that Jamaica is a party to the UNCAC, having ratified it in 2008. The UNCAC identifies 5 key areas of focus for state parties. The first is prevention. While recognizing that it is possible to prosecute corruption after it happens, the convention has a focus on corruption prevention, which outlines measures directed at both the public and the private sectors. It also calls on civil society to play a role in preventing corruption and in raising awareness about the problem. The second area of focus is criminalization. The convention calls on state parties to take action to ensure that there are laws to address the wide range of acts which come under corruption. Thirdly, state parties are called on to cooperate with each other in the fight against corruption and to facilitate international cooperation in this area. Fourthly, asset recovery is stated as a fundamental principle of the convention. Article 51 provides for the return of stolen assets to countries of origin as a key principle of this convention. Lastly, the 5th area of focus of the UNCAC is technical assistance and information exchange, which encourages state parties to support capacity building of personnel who are tasked with fighting corruption and facilitate the collection, exchange, and analysis of information on corruption.